Hi, guys. Welcome to the My Dope Blend podcast. I am your host, Leslie Kirkland, and my wonderful co host and husband, Greg Kirkland. We are
sweet.
so happy to have you today. Here, you are in a safe place to talk about all things blended, the difficulties, the good, the bad, the ugly. We are here to put it out there. Today's episode, we're going to talk about our new normal. For those that are just listening for the first time, or for those who are, we've gathered a following now. Last time we talked about divorce, and it was a little heavy, but we needed to get that out,
Yes,
right?
I agree.
And there's more to that. If you guys subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram at I Am the Bonus Club, and if you follow us at My Dope Blend Podcast, and also follow on TikTok at BMom40, you can get more detail about some of those episodes, and we can kind of give you some more insight.
That'll work.
But today, we're going to talk about the new normal. Y'all, my husband got 4 women. That's a strawberry letter. But he got 4 women. No, seriously, he's navigating
Fix this,
me as
please. I
his
work in
wife.
church.
As his wife, the 2 daughters, and an ex-wife. So we're going to talk about that new normal. All right? We'll be right back. All right, let's do this.
How you gonna tell people that I'm in a relationship with 4 women?
Because you technically are. I mean, I'm in a relationship with 3 other women, which are your daughters, our daughters. Let me not say that, our daughters, but our daughters and their mom.
Yeah. Okay. So
Is that
okay?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So I'm in a relationship with you, my 2 daughters, and their mom.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to listen. It's 2024. We can't go
That is
viral
so
over
true,
it.
guys.
Listen.
Don't go that way.
Thank you.
Honestly, we are in a new normal for us, and we've been, doing this. This will be year 8 for us. But I mean, there's still new things. You learn new things every day. And now, we have our boys that are in that dynamic as well, but
Yes.
that kind of evened it out a little bit.
Correct.
But yeah, we're in relationships. We have the girls and we have their mom.
Right.
And it was definitely a new normal for me. My goodness. But let me say this, because I don't know if a lot of you know this, and I don't think I've said it on any of our past episodes. I grew up in a blended family. Ha ha. And I really didn't know that I grew up in a blended family, because that's not how we looked at it. So my sister she is my sister. Well, we don't do that half, all that stuff. She is my sister. But my dad is her bonus dad. However, in our eyes, in our hearts, my dad is our dad. There's no my in that. That's our dad.
Well, she wouldn't have been your half
Anyway,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I didn't realize, and this is really, and this is all honesty, I really didn't realize that I was in a real blended situation until I got with Greg. Because I just never viewed it that way. Like it just never, I don't know. I never ever viewed it like, oh, we're blended. I'm just like, okay, this my sister, my dad, my mom.
Which is a healthy environment.
Yeah. So when I got into this dynamic and I started dating Greg, and my mom really helped guide me along the way. She really, really did. I got to see it from a different viewpoint, because in this situation, it's Greg as the man. My mom was the woman. So it was interesting.
Right.
To hear what she had to say from a standpoint of, dating, meeting other men, and having my sister.
Got it.
Now, her and my dad grew up together, which is, what you were saying, you and your ex-wife grew up well, basically was in church, but they lived across the street from each other.
Okay.
So that dynamic was a little different. They had known each other for a long, long time. And my sister has really, her and my dad have been in each other's lives since she was 5.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. See?
So.
But I mean, it just goes to show that
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be
now,
weird. It's what you make of it.
Everybody, again, because everybody has a voice.
Yeah.
So not to say that there are not opinions or thoughts about what that situation was from everybody's perspective. But overall, and I know from marrying into your family that the dynamic of you, your sister, your mom and dad, I would have never known that your dad was not her biological father based on
the way we interact.
Yeah, I would have never known that. But, until it was told to me, but yeah, because y'all dope.
My dope blend. Now, what's funny is when I did meet your ex-wife, something that was mentioned to me was, I am in a blended family, and it wasn't, everything wasn't always good. And that's when I said to her, well, it's what you make of it, because I was in one as well, and it was. And it was funny because we had that same story, but our viewpoints were so different. So I think for her, she automatically went into this with the expectation of what she experienced. Okay. And I went into it with the expectation of what I experienced. Yeah. 2 totally different things.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And I would like to hope and think that perhaps the way we continued, after that conversation, may have shined a different light on the fact that, it can be harmonious.
It can be.
And that things can go well. Again, with her, having known her and been a part of her, her family dynamic for years, I knew of their family dynamic, of being divorced and remarried and co-parenting and all that kind of thing. And so, I can understand, some of her reasonings behind that statement. But as you said, it's funny that both of you had a blended background, blended experiences, but, you have a totally different, viewpoint of it, so it makes sense what you say, that she would possibly filter this through the lenses.
Yeah.
And the question is, how many people do that?
How many people do that?
Yeah. We could even say that was a part of your reservations and hesitation with giving me a chance because of baby mama drama.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I've heard horror. Let me tell horror stories. And even though I'm not the one to shy from confrontation, because to me, confrontation is healthy. It's the way you go about it. But I don't like discord. I don't like it. That's not who I am. Right. I am a peacemaker. I really, really am. I want to see everybody happy. And when they're not, I want to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? Now, I am also very territorial of the people I love. Don't mess with them. But I'm not going. I don't think everything has to be drama. I don't live in drama. That is not how I want to coexist with anyone in drama. And I think as a culture, we can be deemed that way when it doesn't have to be.
Sure. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. So I wanted to go into this differently. I definitely didn't. I think we did the groundwork to do it differently and to do it our way, which is so dope.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. So from a new normal perspective, what is it that you feel is unique to our situation?
Um, so I think what was unique is we set the ground for open dialogue amongst our family, our
Mhm.
new core,
Mhm.
which is the girls. That's we wanted to have that open door policy with
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
We created a environment to know them, to let them know that we will always be there
Mhm.
and support them to the end. We don't
Right.
expect them to do what we want them to do, but
Mhm.
they have to show us that they are in it, and whatever they desire to do, that they're going forth with it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we will support them to no end. Um, we just allowed, and it's the honest to God truth, we allow God to guide us.
Mhm.
We really did.
Mhm.
And I learned how to allow you to guide me.
Mm.
That was really, I think, made our new normal work, because the truth is, y'all, he knows his ex-wife, and he knows her well.
Mhm.
And he knows when to talk to her,
Mhm.
when not to,
Mhm.
when she's receptive, when she's not.
Mhm.
He knows how to get what is needed, from a standpoint, a parenting standpoint, and he knew how to bring us together.
Mhm.
It wasn't always met with open arms, but he did it the best way possible.
Mhm.
And for that, it worked. Um,
Yeah. And I appreciate that. Um, I think it's because our last episode I talked about my divorce,
mhm.
and you almost, I, and I guess this is the case in life in general, but you almost are always practicing new normal.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so for me to go from married, 2 children, and then divorced, that was a new normal.
Absolutely.
To go from married to single was
That
a
was
new
a new
normal.
normal. Hmm.
To go from single dad dating was a new normal.
Hmm.
And then to go from single dad to bonus mom and new wife with an ex-wife was a new normal.
Oh, good.
Uh, and so because of that, in the new normal, you learn
I got to
if
break down
if
mine.
if you yeah, you should, because the thing about it is it's almost like when you look at it almost like a video game.
Ooh, how to what?
Well,
Yeah,
you got to master each level
you
before you could go to
do.
the next level. You have to pass that one.
Yeah, that's
So I mean, I grew up playing Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog, and those things. I ain't got into 2K and what the new games are and stuff.
what the
That's my
boys
brother.
do.
Yeah,
Roblox.
I'm not in all that. But you give me Super Mario Brothers with the original joystick,
Yes. Dun,
the
dun, dun,
square
dun,
one.
dun, dun,
Forget
dun,
it.
dun, dun,
It's
dun.
over.
Right.
I know how to get you there. But you had to master each level.
Hmm.
And so, I feel like in life, you have to learn the lesson in each level. Meet a person that's just seemed like they never learn. So they
It's a
constantly going in
circle.
circles. It's a big cycle. But it's like you just won't learn.
Hmm.
You can't pass because you just won't learn what you need to learn in this level. So I was just intentional about that. Now, in that you say I can speak the language of my ex-wife. I understand her, I know her well, and that is true.
Hmm.
You know, um, and okay, so that brings back to something that we talked about in an earlier episode
Okay.
from a standpoint of um timing.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that was a part of the conversation um about uh priority.
Yep. Hmm.
That was a part of the conversation about, I think, when we got into the 3 C's.
Yeah.
You know, um for me to to be in a relationship with 4 women, um it took and it takes me knowing the language of all 4,
Yeah.
knowing the timing of all 4,
Hmm.
knowing when you all are receptive when you're not, as you said. You know, knowing when I need to be the middleman, and I need to do all the talking,
All of it.
and I need to do all the
Because
negotiating,
women, we
and
do
all the
our emotions,
make
hormones, and
all of
everything
the,
else.
you know, I know when those times are necessary.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's new.
It's new.
You know, it's not new now, but it was new. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm interested to hear
what my new
your.
is. All right, guys, we'll be right back so I can talk about my new and break it down like he just did.
She's so jealous.
All right, so I'm going to break down my new like you did. So,
Okay.
all right. So I was married in my 20s. I got married in my 30s. But so I went from, which is different. I went from single to dating a guy with kids. That was a new normal. I never really dated a guy with kids. Then two, I married a guy with children. I instantly became a mother. Instantly. Okay.
A wife and mother.
And wife and mother. And in that, I not only married him, I married his ex-wife. Drop mic. Because a lot of people will say, no, I didn't. No, I did not marry her. Or I did not. A man would say, I did not marry him. No, you did. You did. It comes with it. No matter how you want to slice that cake, honey, it comes with it. When you marry the parent, you are marrying the other parent. It's a package deal because they are the parent of those children, no matter how you want to look at it. My mom told me that. You can't exclude her. And if you do that, it'll never work.
You can't exclude.
You can't. But no, I'm saying that for a reason, because a lot of people try to exclude. You know, I don't involve myself with him or with her. You know, I let him deal with that. No, then that's not right. That's not right. But I went from that to a mother, a wife, a mother. That was a new normal, and then I became a biological mother, with the boys. So it was ever evolving from new normal to new normal to new normal. And you're right. I had to learn each stage of what that normal looked like, because they didn't look the same.
Right.
When I was girlfriend, it was one way. When I became fiance and wife, it was another way. We became a whole. We are now a true family. And we're going to keep it 100. Now there's two Mrs. Kirklands.
Well, there were.
There were.
You mean in that time?
In that time. Yeah. Because, she was still carrying the last name as Kirkland. Right.
Correct.
I had the name as Kirkland. The girls had the name as Kirkland. So, there was a lot of, well, I'm the original. I got his kids. And let's keep it 100. So I had to face that reality too. And then, come on, let's keep it 100. When we got married, I dealt with, I'm not your first wife. I'm your second wife. What does that truly look like? And everything is going to be on the heels of your first wife. I dealt with that, and we'll talk more about that in another episode.
Oh, yes, that's going to be great.
But, that was part of the new normal. Then now the girls see me in a total different way, because now I'm not girlfriend anymore. I am, that's my dad's wife. She is my bonus mom. Y'all like my shirt. But she's my bonus mom. Seriously. So they even wanted to come up with another name.
Right.
They really did, because they were like, things have shifted. We in a new normal. Right. So, what do we do? And that was endearing to me, because they wanted to come up with something that was just theirs to acknowledge the new change.
Right.
So they did. And then comes, their mom having to deal with a new change.
It was a new norm for her.
It was a new normal for her.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to talk about that, but we talked about that, guys. There was a lot of sympathy, empathy, all of that for her. I know I had it, and he know I dealt with that because you can't just bury something that existed for 12 years and be okay allowing the new to just come in.
Right.
In her eyes, this girl has my family. I had to come to terms with that and embrace that through her eyes, even though I was the one standing on the other side. So that was new.
Yeah.
That was
absolutely.
a new normal. Then I became a mother of my own child. That was completely new. But guess what? Even with that, now let me tell you what's crazy about that. That was so new, not just becoming a mother, but I had to navigate new emotions for myself, for you, for Kirsten and Kyla, and for your ex-wife. Because that was a major change. That was for you, it was, I now have a new child from a totally different woman in this dynamic.
Right.
When at first we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl.
Oh, Lord.
And I struggled with that.
Oh my God. This thing thought she was having a girl.
And then and we'll talk more about that because then the girls had to deal with having a sibling. And let me tell you the struggle with that. You know, I didn't want a daughter because I didn't want them to feel replaced. I really didn't. Because I knew for them it would be a struggle to see another little girl in the home with their father, loving on their dad the way that they do, but can't do on an everyday basis like she would. That's hard. That's hurtful. And I didn't want them to experience that. And then the other new normal was having to tell your ex-wife, I'm expecting a baby. She had to see me carrying his child, his son. Something
we didn't have together.
They didn't have together. So all of those were new normals, you know. And that was eye-opening, mind-blowing. I mean, Jesus. At moments, I had anxiety, a lot of anxiety about it all because I was like, oh my God, this is way too much. It's happening so quickly. And it really did, guys. It happened like boom, 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 boom.
It changed your life.
It changed.
I did.
Oh, Jesus. It changed the trajectory of my life. Yes. It was like, whoa. You know, and then we still had to deal with other things with the girls. We still had scheduling with, you know, their, you know, schooling and extracurricular activities. You know, they were both highly involved in cheer, soccer games at one point, chorus, all of those things. We still had to do trips, vacations. Now it went from Greg and I to Greg and I, Kirsten and Kyla, to Greg and I, Kirsten and Kyla, and the boys. Now to Greg and I, Kirsten and Kyla, the boys, and the whole family, including the ex-wife, because we just did that.
Oh, yeah.
For Kyla's Sweet 16.
Yeah.
We all went on a cruise together.
Who else you adding to the?
Did we not?
Yeah, we did.
We went on a cruise together.
I didn't know where you was going with that.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, I know you ain't. I know you lying.
So but I'm just saying it's an ever evolving
Don't
new.
worry about it.
It's I left one new out. I had to embrace the other side of the family. Which was the in-laws, the old in-laws, Kirsten and Kyla's grandparents. Because guess what? They were an extension of their mom.
Right.
So I even married into that, truthfully. Because we all went to soccer games. We all went to recitals. We all went to these things. We all sat together.
Right.
So I married all of that.
Right.
Y'all, you marry all of that.
Yeah, right. You're right.
You know?
And you've done well. Uh,
Look at that.
It has not always been easy.
Mm-hmm.
There's been lots of tug of war
Mm-hmm.
and moments and uh blow ups and issues and but it has framed us to be harmonious. It has framed us to a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, I didn't consider that, but I remember when we went on Kyla's Sweet 16 cruise. I remember the anxiety. I don't deal with anxiety.
I do.
My wife does.
I do.
She does. And her anxiety can sometimes incite
Mm-hmm.
a level of anxiety within me. So I remember when we were preparing to go on this Sweet 16 cruise for Kyla, that did include
everybody, including my parents too.
Her parents, my parents, the girls, the boys, my ex-wife, her husband, her parents,
my sister,
her sister.
It was
my
ex-wife's
all sisters. We all went on a cruise together for Kyla's Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a level of what Lord, is this it? Is this the Titanic?
We was on Royal Caribbean. It kept us together. Is somebody go overboard?
Listen, but here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting to that.
Oh goodness,
here's what's interesting.
It's so true.
Here's what's interesting. The day that the ship sailed, and our crew was already on the ship.
Yep.
Their crew was getting on the ship, and we were, in the food area or whatever, and then that her entire family, influx of people came, and they came on, and we all had shirts.
Yes, we did.
For Kyla's graduation, Sweet 16. Sorry, we all had shirts, and they got on, our whole crew, their whole crew. And we had a moment of embrace.
We did, which was like, what?
And it was kind of in that moment that it was like,
it's going to be okay.
Right, we can do this. We can do this. And it went well.
It did.
It
went well.
There's always that tension in the new normal. There's going to be a level of tension. If anybody tells you that that's not true, they're lying. In the new normal, there's always going to be a level of tension because there's you concerned if somebody says the wrong thing.
Yes.
You're concerned if somebody oversteps and does the wrong thing.
Are we all sitting together? Are we sitting separately?
What is the seating chart?
What is the seating chart? Who's going to sit next to each other? Excursion.
Where do the girls sit?
Yes.
Do they sit with us? Do they sit with them? Do they balance? Do they do a balancing act? So there is always that dynamic.
Yes.
But, in the new normal, it requires maturity.
It does.
On everybody's part. In order for it to be successful and to be harmonious and to, be a dope blend. You make a great point because this is our dope blend. And our party of 6 is a dope blend. But I would venture to say.
No, go ahead, say it.
I would venture to say that in moments like that, the entire situation is a dope blend. Because it's a blessing.
It is.
For everybody to be able to come together and be harmonious. And override the tension. Override the
for the sake of the child.
For the sake of the children.
Which is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
We did this for her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. In her, in that case, it was for one child, but just in general, for both girls.
And we did something else, which was great.
What's that?
We dropped Kirsten off to college.
Correct.
As one family.
Correct.
And this time, it was the parents.
Only.
And the children.
Yeah. It was. You're right. And we coexisted.
And we
And we went
coexisted.
to parenting
Class, yeah,
orientation
together,
classes and
everything.
you know, and we were able to do that
Mm-hmm.
and be harmonious and talk and laugh and
And
joke
laugh.
and you know,
Yep. Go out to eat. Remember we had
did. Where did we
Mexican.
go?
We went to the
Sure
Mexican
did.
spot.
Sure did. The Mexican was horrible. If you ever in, I'm just kidding. Don't go to. No, I'm just playing. Because they might be a sponsor.
Right, but we did. You know, we did it. When looking back, never thought we would get to that point.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But we're gonna talk a little bit more about that because, guys, it can happen.
Yeah.
It just what you say
Yeah.
takes time.
Absolutely. And to stick a pin right there before we break, but just to say this, you're right. There was a point, and this is some encouragement to our listeners and viewers. There was a point that we would have never thought
Mm-hmm.
that we would be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And now we are. There's hope.
There's hope. We'll be right back to talk about hope.
There's hope with
The
Dope
hope.
Blend. There's
That
hope with the Dope Blend.
hope. We'll be back. All right, let's talk a little bit more about that hope, because I want to give our viewers and our listeners hope on, what things that we did in order to get to that point, because it wasn't always there.
No.
It was not. So
Mhm.
I don't know what are some things that you think we did, to
I think that there were lots of conversations.
yeah. Mhm.
We always come back to communication.
Yeah.
That is like,
But we had some. You and I have always had deep
an open line
line of communication, but
Mhm.
we had to learn how to include your ex-wife in those open line
Right.
of communications.
Right.
That part wasn't always easy because it has been a moment where it's, why am I here? Why, like in regards to like me, what
Mhm.
she don't got no say in this. Like me and you were the parents, or and
Mhm.
when you had to insert and say no, we're
Right.
the parents.
Right. Yeah. That kind of comes back to those moments of tension at times.
Mm-hmm.
To have tough conversations, to have tough text messages,
Mm-hmm.
text conversations. Sometimes the text thread could be lit.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I've tried to do too is take the lead of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to always kind of keep a pulse of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying in the conversations that they're having? What are they saying? In other words, I remember, I think it may have been for Kirsten's middle school graduation before she went to high school. And Kirsten at the time loved Red Lobster.
Mm-hmm.
So we all went out to eat at Red Lobster.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides. Okay. You and I, Rochelle, my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and her parents, and maybe some siblings here and there. I don't know. But we all went out to Red Lobster. Kirsten sat. I want to say she may have even sat at a separate table with Kyla and my two nieces.
Okay.
They may have sat at their own children's table,
Mm-hmm.
right? I remember Kirsten coming to our table where all the adults were sitting with the two families. And she came and she sat on our side because we were not mixed.
No, we weren't.
It was my side, Michelle's side,
Mm-hmm.
my ex-wife's side. I'm so sorry. And we were all at the table. Kirsten came. She sat down on my side.
Mm-hmm.
And she engaged in a conversation with all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked and we laughed. And maybe 10 minutes later, Kirsten, my child, who was maybe 13, She said, okay, I'm going to go sit down with my mom's side now and talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
remember that.
Her maturity
Was just like
through the roof, her intuition
through the roof,
and her comprehension and understanding of the situation and the dynamic was enough. I remember that day. It pricked something in me to say, now, you know, my child should feel comfortable sitting in the middle of a table and just being at peace at both sides. She shouldn't have to feel as though
she got to play
she has to
both sides.
entertain both sides. So that was a story that I used to say that the kids are intuitive.
Very much so.
And if you listen to them, they'll lead you and tell you what they see. They'll tell you when they think that the adults are tripping and acting childish.
And they've said it to both, and that includes their mom and even me.
Yeah. They'll let you know.
Yeah.
So there have been times where the child had to lead.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is what I want. What do y'all need to do to get this together? Because I'm graduating. I want to have a graduation party. I want to have this. I want to have that. You know, and then it's up to the adults.
Yeah.
To take that lead and make some conscious decisions. You know.
For me, and people might think this like, nah, it's not true. No, it really is true. I went into this wanting it to be harmonious. Am I lying?
No.
I went into this like, I don't understand. Because in my mind, we can make this what we want it to be. I always had that mindset. Now, there are moments that I felt in actions that came with it. Like you could be on the other side. I'm here. You could be over there. But why? It was always that in the back of my mind. But why? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. And I had to come to the resolve within myself that you can only be you. And either the person is going to adjust eventually because they can't do anything. They have to. Because you're not giving them negativity. Negativity can just linger by itself, but after a while, you know, that positive energy will oversee, you know, it will take control over the situation. But I had to also realize, and I said this to her, we had a come to Jesus moment. And I was honest, I'm not trying to be your friend. Let's be 100. I'm not. But I respect you, and I need you to respect me. I respect you as his ex-wife, and I respect you as the mother of these girls. I need you to respect me as his current wife and the bonus mom of these girls and the mother of their siblings. That's what I need. And if we can learn how to respect each other, we can learn how to coexist with each other. Because the thing is, I told her, you and I didn't ask for this. Neither one of us did. It's not, woe, it's you. It's not, it's woe, it's me. It's woe, it's us.
What's the woe? I know
No,
I'm not.
I'm saying.
I'm just clarifying.
No, it's woe.
I know I'm not the woe.
You're not the woe.
Don't
the situation is the woe.
Oh, okay.
The situation is the woe. I never said, God, send me a divorced man with 2 girls. You never said, Lord, I want to be divorced and watch my husband marry someone else with my daughter. We didn't ask for this, but it's our new normal. It's our normal. So we got to coexist in this.
Yeah, you're right.
So
yeah,
your blow is no less than my blow, because my blow is I have to deal with everything that comes with him, which includes the kids, which includes you, which includes your family, and every feeling that they may have about me. And I know the listeners and viewers can relate. We got to coexist. And I think when I came to that, like, I'm going to keep being me. My mother-in-law, who I love dearly, constantly kept telling me, don't change. My mother, don't change. Be you. I was able to, and I have to say this in a way, listen to my elders in that scenario. They help guide me in regards to how I respond. My nature is not to be negative, but they help me in moments where I felt like I wanted to. I had to be slow to speak. I had to be slow to speak because that anger can flare up, but I had to learn how to be slow to speak and to turn away the wrath of the situation that can come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think God honored that
Mm-hmm.
and said, for us all, I see all of their hearts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to help mend this the way it's intended for them.
Right. Mm-hmm. For the sake of the girls.
For the sake of the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give Greg what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give Leslie what she needs. And I have to give their mother what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I felt at moments that, yes, this is difficult, but she's a mother of 2. I'm a mother of 4.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's true.
I'm a mother of 4. Instantly. A mother of 4. I never got the moment to take it truly all in. I was in it and I had to run with it.
Mm-hmm.
I did read books. I did read the blended family and the love languages. I'm still trying to find sources.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another thing that we need to do better with. Create sources to help our blended families navigate through these difficult situations. How do you feel? Pick a card. Tell me how you feel at this moment. What does that look like?
Sounds like you need to write a book.
Jesus. Let's talk about it. Because it's not there. Premarital counseling. Let's talk about the truth. We can talk about what the word of God says, and that's to love each other. That is to truth, the foundation of love and the building. But let's talk about when the love has ended and now you're in something new, a new normal of love, and you got kids. Let's talk about blended family in premarital counseling. That's real.
Yeah, it's real, especially in 2024.
That's super real. That's 85% of the world is in some type of blended dynamic. It's no matter what culture you're in.
Wow.
No matter what culture you're in. Divorce is beyond what I could ever imagine. I think, right now as we speak, somebody's signing the papers to a divorce, more than one. Somebody's fighting over custody right now.
Correct.
So,
being able to offer the tools to them, some of the tools that you were not afforded to you or offered to you or that you had to.
I got to create them.
You got to create them. Bonus Mom by Leslie C. Kirkland.
I got to create
C
them.
stands for control. Sorry.
I'm going to hurt him, y'all. I got to create him. Where's the class to take? You have mediation, yes, but that comes before divorce. What comes after divorce? You can talk to a therapist, but we need tools to help work through situations that will continue to come about for our blended families.
Absolutely.
But I think the key out of all of that within the tools is you have to be open and receptive to the change that comes with it. You got to. If you're not open.
Yeah. Well, open and mature. Maturity is
key. If you're immature, you can't. I'm sorry. No shade to anybody. If you're immature and you're still in a selfish phase, honey, sir, don't even bother to be in a blended situation because you can't. Those two things can't exist in this dynamic. You just can't.
Yep. Got to have communication. Got to have maturity.
Yep.
Got to be open.
You got to be. You have to lead with an open heart. And people may say, viewers or listeners may say, oh, they're getting too spiritual. But guess what? God is love, and you got to let him lead you in this. You can't do this thing by yourself.
Well, I mean, look.
In all situations in life,
Sure.
But when you're dealing with matters of the heart, that's when you go back to heart and mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need him to give you clarity.
Sure.
And guidance.
And everybody might not be in the place that we're in spiritually. Everybody may not necessarily believe even what we believe.
Correct.
Everybody that listens. But what I will say is, from our perspective, even if we look at it from a spiritual perspective, the truth of the matter is that we're all adopted into a family.
We're all adopted into some type of family. Yes. Oh my God.
Oh,
that's
we are. Get that on your highway.
On 285, the 410, wherever.
Whatever
you
on. It'll hit you one day.
But that's true.
Mm-hmm. So we're all, in essence, a part of a dope blend.
We are a part of a dope blend. Mm-hmm. We truly are.
Yep.
This world could be so beautiful and new normal of this dope blend.
Yep.
Wow.
So you give it to them.
Guys, I hope, this episode was really heartfelt. Mm-hmm. Not even eye-opening. I think it needed to be heartfelt. The heart and the mind. Mm-hmm. And you all may need to think about some things and how you're handling certain situations in your blended dynamic or just situation overall. As my husband said, because we're all part of some type of blended, dope blend dynamic, but you can make it as beautiful as you want it to be. Paint that picture with as many colors as you need to. So I want you guys to come back.
Please.
and to be honest, for the viewers, they can see my sweatshirt. But for those who can't, I have a vibrant pink sweatshirt on that says Bonus Club, like in a neon pink. It is so dope. If you guys subscribe and if you follow me on IG, I am the Bonus Club and my Dope Blend podcast, and on TikTok as BMom40, I will put the link of where I got this shirt from, and it comes in multiple colors. Because it really is a nice shirt.
Do they have them that say Bonus Dad?
They do not. Which, guys, I got merchandise coming too. So yeah, but I'll mention this because I think it's a very good shirt. We got to wear this proudly, right?
Absolutely.
So tune in, guys, for the next episode. We're going to be talking about all things, now that we've talked about our new normal. This one is another one that's maybe just a little bit heavy. It's going to be, I kind of hate to say it this way, but it's the best way possible. New wife versus ex-wife. What does that look like? And we're going to talk about the emotions that come with that, because there's some deep, deep rooted things. So once again, this is your host, Leslie Kirkland, your co-host, Greg Kirkland. Blend as the dopest possible way you can. I mean, just do it, y'all. All right? Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Hope with dope blend.
Hope with dope blend.